Syria has been experiencing unrest since March, with demonstrations being held against and in support of President Bashar al-Assad's government. Despite all that, Iran's Foreign Ministry officials say the plan to create sectarian violence in Syria has missed the target.
Syria is at the forefront of an axis of resistance against Israel. It is the only Arab country that has for decades supported the oppressed people of Palestine. The US and Israel want to hijack the Arab revolutions and detach Syria from the axis of resistance. If not, they want to change the regime in Damascus.
Activists and human rights groups say hundreds of people have been killed so far by security forces in protest rallies against the Syrian government. But the government says these people and many of its own security forces have been killed by armed gangs and terrorist groups backed by Israel and Western powers.
Just like in other Arab countries, people have legitimate demands in Syria. President Assad began true reforms by lifting the emergency law. Other measures include changes in the election and media laws, as well as political reforms. People welcomed these reforms, and to some extent, security and calm returned to the country.
The West is desperate to persuade Moscow and Beijing to join UN Security Council negotiations on a draft resolution to impose an arms embargo and other measures against Syria. But Russia and China say the move is not objective and accuse the West of double standards and partiality.
The West tried to split Shias and Sunnis, and it tried to give the impression that President Assad cannot run the country. Under the same ploy, they wanted to prepare the ground for NATO's intervention. But the Syrian people were vigilant and passed this critical phase. Even those who are not with Assad's party back this axis of resistance and reject military intervention.
Iran's alliance with Syria is based on ideology and religion, and not economic interests. That's why there will be no sectarian violence in Syria. Despite allegations, Iran is not interfering in Syria's internal affairs.
Iran's Foreign Minister Ali Akbar Salehi has warned against any intervention in Syria. He has also urged the regional governments, especially Syria, to meet the legitimate demands of their people through dialogue and cooperation. Many countries such as Russia, China, India and South Africa are complaining that NATO's intervention in Libya has gone too far. That's why they say they don't want to see the same thing happen in Syria. Aman Aderi, Press TV, Tehran.